I know us.
I bet he likes her.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mic check.
Now on News 6, local leaders are joining forces to combat school violence.
The most important thing for school safety is relationships.
How they hope to help keep your kids safe. Plus, a lab simulating what nurses face on the job.
Being a bedside nurse is a little bit different because you have more one-on-one interaction with the patient.
See the ways it's allowing them to improve. And the key hearing for President Trump's pick to leave NASA. This is News 6 Mornings.
Hey, good morning. It's Wednesday and it is 7 o'clock. I'm Crystal Moyer.
I'm Justin Moore. Myth Trooper Steve is here watching the roads, and Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos leads us off with your forecast.
Happy last day of April,
That's right.
folks.
My goodness.
I was going to do the whole guess what? It's going to be May.
Oh.
Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Ready for see, Steve's ready for those memes.
Steve loves those memes. Those are his favorite.
My favorite is just the originality of it all.
Yeah, right? You just never hear it every year.
First ever.
First time. I've never heard that before.
Well, obviously this is the first time we heard it today. So.
I'm sensing some sarcasm. Just sensing it. Downtown Orlando Sky Cam brought to you by Light Orlando, delivering hope together. We're in the mid-60s right now in Orlando. 63 as we wrap up the month of April. However you want to celebrate it, memes or no memes. We're at 72 degrees right now in Melbourne as we take you to the bus stop. Temperatures back into those mid-60s, a nice light breeze, and actually a cool morning in many locations as temperatures once again rebound back to near normal. We're back into those mid-80s, which is right where we should be for this time of the year. But rain chances remain out of the picture for another day. Now, looking at the fire danger, we are increasing it back to high category through our inland counties, including Lake Sumter, Seminole, Orange, and Osceola County. A little lower along our coastline just because that ocean breeze tends to pack a little more moisture, and that's why our fire danger isn't as high. Now, the good news is when it comes to our drought conditions, our fire danger, what we need is daily rain. And it looks like Mother Nature finally got that message, and it looks like our rain chances will be trending up. We'll have more details on how much rain we could see early next week coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
I can't even look at Crystal right now. I can't even. Because like hand movement, she did the head movement. No, like it's unbelievable. 7 o'clock and she does this. Look, if you're driving to the airport, out of the triangle anywhere in Central Florida, you're good to go this morning. Your main roads are fine. Pleasant Hill seeing those delays, and then out here along 192 in between Kissimmee and St. Cloud. Simpson northbound approaching Buenaventura, Osceola Parkway, slight delay there. And then that Kissimmee delay, that Narcoossee delay that I saw in St. Cloud, look how fast it went away. It was quite large, about a quarter mile. and then clearing up. Why? Because it's school traffic outside of the elementary school. Just be cautious. 528 out by the airport, and then Orange Avenue out here by Belle Isle up through Edgewood. All clear. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. The fate of fluoride in Florida will soon be in the hands of Governor DeSantis.
Florida lawmakers gave the final approval yesterday to a bill that would essentially ban the mineral from being added to the drinking water statewide. That's despite opposition from Democrats and dentists.
News 6's Angie Casada following the latest live for us this morning, and it's likely the governor will sign this, Angie.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, so a lot of state leaders are actually pushing for it, and several cities across the state have already made moves, but the bill would make it universal. It's something that we really don't think about, right? Whether you're at a fountain just trying to get a drink of water, maybe you're home brushing your teeth, that water contains some fluoride.
For nearly 80 years, fluoride in tap water has been praised by public health experts. It's credited with slashing rates of tooth decay, especially in kids.
I would say it's the cheapest way to take care of your teeth.
But a bill headed to Governor Ron DeSantis would end the practice in Florida. It doesn't mention fluoride by name, but bans any health-related additives in public drinking water.
This is not about fluoride. This is about your liberty. This is not, sir, about conspiracy. We left conspiracy at the door. Today we deal in facts.
The move has gained popularity in recent months over concerns about possible negative health impacts, especially in children. But critics say that it's a dangerous move that will hurt lower-income families most.
There's a huge concern from the public health community, from the dentist community, that removing fluoride would have serious consequences, including higher healthcare costs. Treating cavities and related infections is expensive, and fluoridation has saved families and taxpayers millions in dental care each year.
Now, if the governor signs the bill, Florida would be the second state in the country to pull fluoride out of tap. Utah became the first state after passing a similar bill earlier this year, or banned. Reporting in the station, Angie Casada, News 6.
Angie, thanks. Today, the state is expected to rest its case in the resentencing trial for the two men convicted in the infamous Xbox murders. Prosecutors are hoping to put Troy Victorino and Jerron Hunter back on death row for the murders of 6 people inside a Deltona home back in 2004. Yesterday, prosecutors illustrated the events of that deadly day with testimony from the other men involved. Prosecutors argue Victorino, who was squatting in the victim's home, wanted his Xbox back, leading to the tragedy. Both men were originally sentenced to death, but those sentences were struck down due to changes in state law.
Happening today, a Brevard County teacher charged after an alcohol-fueled party involving teens is due back in court. This time, she is trying to get the case against her tossed out. Carly Anderson is charged with disorderly intoxication and disorderly conduct after body camera video showed her shouting profanities at first responders during the party back in January. Anderson's lawyers, though, say her actions don't support those charges and they should be dismissed. She remains on leave from the district because of what happened. Today's hearing is set for 9 o'clock. New this morning, a Marion County teenager accused of carrying out a violent murder spree when he was just 12 years old has now pled guilty in court. Christopher Atkins was one of 3 juveniles arrested back in 2023 after deputies say they shot and killed 3 other teens during a robbery. The suspects, all eventually charged as adults. Atkins, who is now 14, changed his plea to guilty during a hearing yesterday. He still faces a possible life sentence. The other 2 suspects are set to stand trial this summer.
Happening today, just weeks after a shooting at Florida State University left 2 people dead, 6 others injured. People from all over the country will be meeting in Central Florida to discuss ways to enhance student safety. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez is live this morning in Kissimmee, where the 19th annual National Student Safety and Security Conference is set to kick off in just a few hours. And Stephanie, experts will be addressing the causes of school violence.
Yeah, Crystal, law enforcement, educators, policymakers, and so many other stakeholders will be meeting here for the next few days to discuss that and how to make schools safer. Now, organizers tell me this isn't just a gathering, it's a call to action.
Leaders from all over are joining forces to try to stop school violence.
You know, the first U.S. school incident was 1747, yet here we are still talking about it.
Chief Rick Francis with the Seminole County Sheriff's Office is one of the many speakers at the National Student Safety and Security Conference.
What's it like for you to be able to be a part of this and to meet with the stakeholders that are all concerned and working toward keeping students safe?
The biggest thing for me is to be able to provide some person or persons some takeaways that they can take back. Some of it's low cost, no cost initiatives that they can take back to their school district and immediately deploy and have a real effect.
They'll focus on dating violence, gang activity, vandalism, and bullying. Keynote speaker Dr. Steven Sorka tells me they have a comprehensive approach.
The most important thing for school safety, and you very seldom hear this at conferences, is relationships. Relationships, trusted relationships are so important because they are what make schools safe and help kids learn.
They focus on the 4 C's: communication, collaboration, cultural sensitivity, and caring, with a community-driven approach at the forefront.
I'm convinced if a kid feels part of that fabric of that school, it's very less likely they're going to cause a mass casualty event.
The conference will also have special workshops that will be focused on teen suicide prevention, substance abuse, and reckless driving. Reporting live in Kissimmee, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Thank you, Stephanie. This morning, we're getting a better idea of just how many people are being booked into jail in Orange County who are also wanted by U.S. immigration. The County Corrections Department says in the first 4 months of the year, 997 people have been booked who have ICE detainers. That is compared to just over 1,000 for all of last year. Of course, this all comes as both the Trump administration and Governor DeSantis have been cracking down on illegal immigration, including nearly 800 arrests in a recent operation. The governor spoke about it yesterday on a conservative radio show.
If you have an illegal driving drunk on the road, they get pulled over. Under Biden, if we called ICE, basically they wouldn't come get them, right? Now, not only will the Trump administration accept, they've deputized our folks to exercise immigration enforcement powers.
Yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security announced in the first 100 days of President Trump's second term, more than 142,000 illegal immigrants have been deported nationwide.
The Trump administration is easing some tariffs for automakers. That announcement came yesterday as the president marked his 100th day in office. Now automakers will not be subject to additional tariffs on imported steel and aluminum. The 25% tariff on imported vehicles and auto parts will remain.
Meantime, an effort to stop some of President Trump's tariffs is expected in Congress today. The Senate could vote as early as today on a special resolution. That's according to its co-sponsor, Senator Rand Paul. He predicts enough of his fellow Republicans will vote with Democrats for the resolution to pass. Trump's executive order from April 2nd declares trade deficits as a national economic threat. The Senate resolution would terminate that declaration.
Universal is giving more people a chance to get inside the new Epic Universe theme park before it's officially open. Annual pass holders and resort guests have been able to snag preview tickets. Now Universal's offering them to everyone. They start at $144 for adults. Here's a tip. Pack some patience, though, when buying your ticket shortly after Universal made the announcement. Their website was slammed. The official grand opening for Epic is May 22nd. And Candace,
yes,
10 out of 10, recommend.
All of it?
I wasn't here on Monday. Okay,
yes.
I was playing hooky, and I went to Epic.
Well, you didn't play
by myself.
hooky. You requested a day off.
I did.
You played hooky, we got a problem.
Yeah.
Steve's over there saying
if Crystal plays hooky, first off, she would be mortified if she did that. Yeah, yes. we don't know. What would be your favorite? What was your favorite thing?
What I see behind you, the Stardust Racers.
I knew it.
There's green and yellow.
You said
pick green.
Pick green. If you like the thrill, right?
Yes.
Like
if you just want to ride it and get through the line quickly, get on yellow.
Get on yellow. All right. Green means go. All right, and go fast. Let's talk about those theme park forecasts there. No matter which park you're picking today, even if it's your neighborhood park, it's going to be just a really nice day. Very comfortable in the shade. We're going to see tons of sunshine. Highs today back to near normal, mid-80s as we continue to stay relatively dry. So no rain to have to deal with for the next couple of days, but we are going to see the temperatures start to creep up above average, really, as we head into that weekend, all ahead of another approaching cold front. The good news is that approaching cold front is going to stall and stay over Central Florida for a couple of days. We're going to be under this holding pattern. It's called the Omega pattern. It's because it looks like the Greek Omega sign. You can kind of see it there. When we get stuck embedded within this kind of pattern, we tend to see actually wetter and cooler conditions. And that's exactly what it looks like what's going to be happening over the next couple of days, really starting up Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, possibly even into Wednesday. Because of that, Climate Prediction Center is now painting all of Central Florida in the green, indicating wetter than average rainfall. We'll have more details on what you can expect and how much rain some of our models are showing coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 update.
You are a professional speaker because you start
weather.
You start throwing in certain words. This is difficult. There's no one's telling her exactly what to say, so you got to be careful. 436, nice and clear out here. Look, Turnpike looking fine this morning. No southbound delays either from Leesburg, Okahumpka through the 27 area. And then as you close in on the Claremont portion, we're good. If you're coming in from Ocala, same thing applies this morning. Southbound I-75 approaching the Florida Turnpike, that little interchange just outside of Wildwood. No issues there. Villages, Lady Lake. Hey, Bellevue's showing themselves, so I'll say hi to you guys. No issues there as well. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. 7:13 now. A new attempt to combat the state's nursing shortage.
Still to come, we go inside a local lab to see how one hospital is working to retain and better understand a nurse's daily tasks.
Plus a costly cleanup along a Texas highway, the $800,000 mess after millions of dimes spilled onto the road. This morning, authorities are trying to figure out who is behind threatening phone calls to schools across Central Florida. It started yesterday after we learned several schools near Viera went into a shelter in place after a threatening call came in to Manatee Elementary. And then we did some digging and found schools in Seminole, Lake, and Volusia counties all got those same calls. And we're told they're part of a slew of so-called swatting calls to schools across the state. All of them turned out to be hoaxes, and no one was hurt.
A new effort to fight against the state's nursing shortage, Advent Health is using a new simulation system to train and retain nurses. New this morning, News 6 anchor Bridget Ellison got an up-close look at how it works and what it could mean for the future.
Hi, dear. What's going on? Where's your pain at?
This is a simulated bedside nurse visit.
Is this side more comfortable for you? Have you tried going to the other side?
One of several these nurses will witness in this session at the Advent Health Center for Simulation and Education in DeLand.
So what you're seeing today is essentially nurses practicing and fine-tuning their skills in a safe environment. So whenever they're put in that environment, they're competent, they're confident, and they know who to reach out to for help. You need me to page out for Dr. Edwards?
Yes, that'd be great. Well, we're waiting. I'm waiting on the call back from your surgeon.
After the simulation, the nurses talk about protocols followed, what worked and what could be improved.
So for my two in the room, go ahead and tell me how that felt.
Even though I've been a respiratory therapist for a long time, being a bedside nurse is a little bit different because you have more one-on-one interaction with the patient.
Andrew Bowman is a new ICU nurse for Advent Health. He helps fill a great shortage. Nurse.org estimates that Florida will only have 88% of the more than 26,000 nurses needed by the year 2030.
We have to be in our best game because with these shortages, we have to take on more responsibility. So that's why things like this are very beneficial because it puts you in situations that are not uncommon to what you're going to see in regular practice.
And it's not just these actors who help them go through these simulations, but you have these different types of mannequins that are high quality.
Yeah, we have high quality mannequins where the learners can assess for pulses, they can listen to heart tones, they can listen to breath sounds.
Today's resources are helping Advent Health attract more nurses and prepare them for anything.
You hear about it and you read it in a textbook, but till you can actually see it live, you don't know what you're in for.
Bridget Ellison, News 6.
All right, now to a costly crash along a North Texas highway. An 18-wheeler overturned, spilling 8 million dimes onto the highway. So it was shut down for hours yesterday morning as crews tried to pick it all up. They worked until 6 p.m. cleaning up all those coins, totaling $800,000. Fortunately, the truck driver, Scrooge McDuck, and a passenger only suffered minor injuries.
His name's not Scrooge.
It's not Scrooge McDuck, but like...
That was good. That was good. That was good.
I don't want to say penny counts, every dime counts.
No, 100%.
If they were quarters, it'd be so much better. But
If there were pennies, you just keep driving.
yeah,
Pennies,
Keep
well, I don't
driving
know.
by.
We don't do math live on television, but
No.
But yeah, no, it all adds up. And but yeah,
Literally.
I wonder where that truck was going and why they had all those dimes.
Yeah, good point.
To a local coin store.
Yeah,
I,
that'd fill in.
Dump it all in.
That's how I felt back in the day when, you used to, as a kid, used to keep all the quarters and stuff like that.
$2.90. Yes.
that's how quickly I learned about like texts and stuff like that because you'd save so much,
Yeah.
you'd put it in there,
And it took some
and I'm
money,
like,
yeah.
yeah, $40. My mom's like, no,
Nope.
you got to give him like $8. I'm
There's
like,
this fee, there's that fee. There's
you
that.
should have
Oh,
stayed
yeah.
home and counted it yourself.
That's when I'm there rolling them.
Oh, we know Candace.
The coins.
Yeah, the coins.
She's got them all.
I can't.
Earth Day was
I
like
have
10 days
nothing
ago,
to say.
Candace.
420 is fast.
I'm not talking to you guys anymore. Right. Anyway. Anyway, we are staying warm and dry and sunny over the next couple of days. This crew. All right. Wednesday, Thursday, I can't even think. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to continue to stay nice and dry. Unfortunately, the fire danger remains in place until further notice. What we need is daily rain. And that's exactly what we'll be getting as we head into Saturday, Sunday, and into the majority of next week, as it looks like we are going to see a big shift in our weather pattern. Crystal, shh. All right, temperatures upper 50s to low 60s right now out the door. We're in those low 70s right now in Titusville. Nice mild start in Cocoa Beach, but much cooler the further west you go. Right now, 59 in the Villages. We're holding at 63 degrees there in Claremont. But as we take you here, hour by hour, our highs today, again, right where they should be for this time of the year. Our average high is 86. That's the forecast in Orlando. Possibly a touch cooler, though, along our coastline, as rain chances, again, remain out of the forecast for the next 2 to 3 days. This is the reason. Notice that big ridge of high pressure there in the corner of your screen. It's creating a big dome of warm, dry air. You can kind of see that dome pretty clearly here. Still stretching all the way further west here to central Florida. But then things are going to start to change. We finally are going to get a setup that is going to finally nudge this big high out of here and arrive and bring in and drag in some moisture associated with this next cold front. Now, this next cold front is not bringing a big drop in temperatures. It will cool us down, but it's not the air that's cooling us down. It'll be the rain. We are looking at our mid-level moisture here trending in the green. That starts up Saturday, Sunday, and as of now continues as late as about Wednesday, with even staying on the wetter side as we head even into the end of next week. So rain chances in the meantime, staying low Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we're going to start bumping up those rain chances. Some models even indicating a 60% chance for rain Sunday and Monday. So additional rain, as long as it doesn't all come in one wave, that's really going to be good news. So we're going to split the 7-day forecast really pretty much down the middle here. Dry for the next few and then wet as we start moving into the weekend. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
Roadway's doing pretty good. 7:22 in the morning. Wildwood, good morning to you guys. Southbound on the Turnpike, we're okay. We're starting to see that eastbound delay a little bit over in the western portions of State Road 50. I'm talking eastbound there from Mascot approaching the Groveland area. No crashes excuses to give you, so don't be the one to cause it. I just want to let you know of the obvious that's out there. So continue eastbound as you approach the city of Claremont, nice and clear. Even that Turnpike interchange by Oakland, nice and smooth as well. We're now finally starting to see a little bit of a northbound delay along 429. Be careful, that right lane backs up just before the Turnpike. Send it back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. Well, it's a sigh of relief for a lot of parents and school leaders.
Straight ahead, why state lawmakers are changing their minds about later school start times.
And at the bottom of the hour, a Florida love story, how a hospital played a special role in one couple's long-awaited wedding. New this morning, a bill backing off on requiring high school classes to start later in the morning is now headed to the governor's desk. The legislature passed the measure in 2023. It was supposed to go into effect in 2026. However, many school districts said they were struggling to meet the deadline due to issues like school bus driver shortages. Under the new bill, districts can avoid the later start times if they submit a report detailing the issues with starting later.
Right now, the FAA says it's working on a playbook to avoid flight cancellations this summer. The busy summer travel season now just weeks away. And so far, the agency is planning to have some planes fly higher than the others. This is expected to avoid traffic jams. The other plan, the agency wants pilots to use alternate routes in an effort to reduce congestion. A powerful new investor and a $1 billion stadium plan.
Still ahead, the new details we've learned about the quest to bring a Major League Baseball team to Orlando.
And 3 years after a disastrous hurricane, some condo owners are still waiting to get back home. What News 6 was told when we went to get answers. You're watching News 6 Mornings. Stay with us.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Live with clickorlando.com. You're watching News 6 Mornings.
Good morning, Central Florida. I'm Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos taking a live look outside right now. Downtown Orlando looking nice and pretty, nice and cool as well in some areas. Right now we're in about 63 in Sanford, 65 in Orlando, still in the low 70s though in southern Brevard County. But as we take you here throughout the next few hours, highs today very comfortable, comfortably warm though, mid 80s, still staying mostly dry, still tons of sunshine. But there is some good news when it comes to our drought and fire danger. We are bringing back the chance of rain, really starting up come this weekend. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
Roadways doing pretty good on a Wednesday. Your drive times towards the airport, not too bad. Pretty much wherever you're coming from. Claremont, Kissimmee, Orange County, 528 east and westbound. Issues clear, whether you're in Brevard or Orange County. Then the Turnpike running smoothly, both north and southbound lanes. There's no trains on the Turnpike. There are lanes, and they are currently clear. The news continues next. Remember, get updates, clickorlando.com.
This portion of the news is sponsored by AK Certified Roofing. Live with clickorlando.com. You're watching News 6 Mornings.
It is 7:30. Let's get a check of our top stories. A bill that would ban fluoride from Florida's drinking water is now headed to Governor DeSantis. The Florida House gave the final sign-off yesterday. Critics, though, say the mineral is an important part of public health.
A Brevard County teacher charged after a house party that included teens and alcohol is due back in court this morning. Carly Anderson is charged with disorderly intoxication, but her lawyers say her actions don't support the charges and that the case should be dismissed.
And the season is over for the Orlando Magic. They needed a win to keep their playoff hopes alive last night, but ended up losing to the Celtics 120-89.
Oh. But some good news as we turn to the weather. It's going to be beautiful today. You know, after a couple of days of rain, the dry weather, it's going to continue.
It is going to continue. Briefly, we have some changes to talk about. Let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos with your forecast.
Yeah, very welcome changes, I need to say right there, because we are going to continue to see dry couple days throughout the rest of the week and into the early weekend, and then we're going to start needing our rain gear almost every day for a nice little stretch. So fingers crossed we can actually accumulate some decent rain to really help out our drought and fire concerns. Daytona Beach sky cam right now, just a really beautiful start right now. You can see the surf not too bad just yet. As the winds continue to kick up throughout the day, the surf will be a bit on the rougher side. We're at 63 degrees under mostly clear skies. Humidity, though, still in the upper 80s. Looking ahead at your beach outlook, it's going to be a nice day along the beaches. If you're staying on the sand, the weather's going to be great. If you are planning on venturing out into the waters, just do be aware we still have a moderate to high risk of rip currents. Right now, though, the rest of Central Florida, we're pretty much in the 60s and 70s along our coastline. Further inland, same story, mostly all of us in the 60s, a few 59s there sprinkled in across our western zones like they're in and around the villages. But as we take you here into the afternoon, we will be running below average along our coast thanks to that nice onshore breeze, but right where we should be for this time of the year in Orlando, a little warmer the further inland you go. Here's another nice live look. This one a little further inland, downtown Orlando. We've been very dry. It looks like our April is going to be ending on a very dry note. But May, that's going to be starting off wetter. We'll have more details on that coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your News 6 traffic update.
So I'm noticing something out here along I-4, and we talked about this yesterday. Remember they've opened up another lane from 27 out towards that Champions Gate World Drive area. Our drive time is reflecting that. And for the first time, how long have I been here? 8.5 years? We're not seeing red eastbound right now at 7:30 in the morning. This is like traffic history taking place. So many people out there going, I don't care. I can tell you right now, someone who lives out there is going, oh my goodness. There you are clear all the way towards 192, and then you'll run into the 535 slowdown. This is the next update once we've seen those lanes expansion. This is getting some results. Goes back to you.
Much needed. Trooper Steve, thanks. A statewide fluoride ban is one step away from becoming law in Florida. Yesterday, lawmakers gave the final sign-off on a bill preventing cities and counties from adding fluoride to drinking water. But this morning, critics say it could hurt public health. News 6's Angie Casada is following the latest live. And Angie, where do we stand with all of this?
Hey, good morning, Crystal. Yeah, you may not realize it, but the water that comes out of your sink in the mornings, you know, when you're brushing your teeth, or maybe even just the water right here at this fountain, it contains fluoride, and it's all to help fight cavities. But a bill now headed to Governor DeSantis' desk could turn off that flow permanently.
It's a mineral found in nature and in most public drinking water across Florida. But this new legislation would prevent cities from adding fluoride or any additive aimed at health.
This is not about fluoride. This is about your liberty. This is not, sir, about conspiracy. We left conspiracy at the door. Today we deal in facts.
The movement against fluoride in drinking water has been growing in recent years, with some studies linking it to a number of health issues. But medical groups call fluoride one of the top public health wins of the 20th century.
But there's a huge concern from the public health community, from the dentist community, that removing fluoride would have serious consequences, including higher healthcare costs. Treating cavities and related infections is expensive, and fluoridation has saved families and taxpayers millions in dental care each year.
In the past year, more than a dozen municipalities have already voted to stop fluoride, including Seminole County and Leesburg. Florida's bill follows Utah's lead, making it just the second state to ban fluoride if signed.
Now, supporters say people can still get fluoride from toothpaste or tablets, but opponents argue this bill removes an affordable layer of protection for families who may need it. Angie Casada, News 6.
All right, Angie, thank you. New this morning, Orlando police have made a second arrest after a deadly shooting along a busy road. 43-year-old Abonis Oliver was taken into custody yesterday. Investigators say he was the getaway driver after the victim, Luis Vicente Martinez, was shot to death inside of a van on Curry Ford Road last month. Police think this all happened during a robbery. Now, the suspected shooter, 27-year-old Gabriel DeLeon, was captured in Puerto Rico back on April 11th. He is now facing murder charges.
Also new this morning, a man is facing charges in Marion County after deputies say he threw a pair of brass knuckles through the window of a school bus. 25-year-old Brian Francois was arrested on Monday. Deputies say he followed the bus, then confronted the driver and smashed the window after the bus made its final stop, causing about $400 in damage. Investigators say he was mad after his sister, 33-year-old Natasha Francois, had a verbal altercation with the bus driver earlier in the day. Both siblings are now facing multiple charges. The trial of suspended Orlando Commissioner Regina Hill has been delayed again, at least until August. Hill was removed from the city council last year after investigators say she obtained power of attorney over a 96-year-old and used that to drain the woman's life savings. Her trial was supposed to begin next month, but her attorneys asked for more time, all while again proclaiming that their client is innocent.
Going through this case, I expect the commissioner to be fully vindicated. She's a champion of the people. She always has been.
A hearing on subpoenas in the case is still set for Monday.
Big new developments in the push to bring a Major League Baseball team to Orlando. We have now learned the name of the powerful investor behind the project and the billion-dollar stadium plan. News 6's Mark Lehman has more on who's behind the big play.
The goal is to eventually build a Major League Baseball stadium here at this plot of land off of I-Drive between the beach line and SeaWorld's Aquatica. The Orlando Dreamers are hoping that will happen with the backing of a dental magnate with ties to Central Florida. It's a dream that could be closer to reality with a key announcement.
Word is out that Rick Workman is our anchor investor.
Orlando Dreamers co-founder Jim Schnorf confirming Dr. Rick Workman as the main financial backer to bring Major League Baseball to Orlando. He lives in Windermere but operates a chain of dental offices in Illinois.
That was a very purposeful selection. We think Rick exemplifies the exact type of owner that Major League Baseball is looking for.
The Dreamers are revealing their investor after announcing last week they've raised $1.5 billion for a franchise, whether through MLB expansion or a team relocating. The Tampa Bay Rays could be an option after Tropicana Field was damaged by Hurricane Milton.
If things don't work out over there and there's an opportunity for that team or any other team to be acquired and potentially relocated to Orlando, we're ready.
Schnorf says another $1 billion is also lined up for a stadium, something he claims would have an economic impact of $30 billion over 40 years and create 25,000 permanent jobs. Attorney John Morgan has also expressed support for the Orlando Dreamers, and Baseball Hall of Famer Barry Larkin has signed on to be the Dreamers' MLB ambassador. At this point, though, a lot of questions need to be answered before a timeline can be established for this possible stadium. In Orlando, Mark Lehman, News 6.
A lot of baseball fans eager to see what happens. Happening today, President Trump's pick for the chief of NASA will be returning to Capitol Hill for a Senate vote. Jarrett Isaacman was nominated by Trump last December and sat before the committee once already during a hearing on April 9th. Now the committee will vote whether or not to send the tax billionaire's confirmation to the full Senate. If he's confirmed, Isaacman stands to replace former Administrator Bill Nelson and take the reins from the current acting administrator, Jeanette Petro. Today's hearing starts at 10.
The Magic had a chance to win last night to keep their playoff hopes alive, but heart and hustle can only take you so far. You need a little bit more talent. The Magic just needed a little bit more. They were down 3-1 against the Celtics, and they started out strong in this one. They were even leading at halftime, but fouls would become costly, and Paolo Banchero had to sit for a majority of the game to avoid fouling out. In the end, the Celtics move on. Final score in this one, 120-89. So we will see the Magic next season, hopefully back and better than ever, stronger, adding some new talent. All right, Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos joins us now with a look at your forecast on this Wednesday and another dry day ahead.
Another dry day ahead, but we are slowly going to start trending wetter as we head into the weekend and early next week. Mother Nature finally will start listening to our prayers, our rain dances, finally bringing back some daily rain chances. As we look here at our temperatures out the door, it is just a dry, very comfortable start. We're in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, so quite a spread across Central Florida for your Wednesday morning. But today, officially the last day of April, and it has certainly been a very dry one. For instance, in Orlando, it's going to be top 10 driest Aprils on record. Daytona Beach came through the entire month, only accumulating 0.02 of an inch. That was it. Now, some areas early on Monday actually saw some rain in Marion, Flagler, and Sumter County. Because of that, our drought index, if you can see here, just pay attention right here to this kind of zone here. You see these little negative signs? That means that these numbers, the difference in the last 24 hours has actually come down. The lower these numbers go, the wetter our soil is. The moment they hit 500 or higher, that's when those burn bans are issued. So Marion County, that's why it's a voluntary burn ban, because look at those numbers, went down into the green. Areas like Sumter County went down about 15 points, also now below that 600 mark. So certainly signs that the rain is absorbing into the ground. We just need a little bit more of it for the rest of us here in Central Florida. Looking ahead, though, it looks like we are going to be trending with more rain in the forecast, not only for the next few days, but even as we head into the first 2 weeks of the month. We'll have more details on what could maybe even be the start of our rainy season coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways. Richard Steve, he's got your News 6 traffic update.
East and westbound I-4 right around 535. Those morning delays kind of settling in for us this morning. There was a crash out there. They've cleared it. And then, of course, another one comes up. But this one's not going to bother you. It's off of Buena Vista out there. Disney security already out on scene at that. FHP will swing by, handle that, and clear it out. Westbound 408 approaching kind of goldenrod. Slight delay, not as bad as we normally see it. This is why we report traffic, because it's not always the same. Edgewater, nice and clear, except right outside of the schools there this morning. Outside of that, no crashes. Now, yesterday on patrol, we were out there cruising along Osceola County. Some traffic issues off of Parton Settlement in Simmons. You know, some roads years ago were just residential. Now people are using them for cut-throughs. Head over to clickorlando.com. You can check that out. And today, listen, Candace has been talking about it, hurricane season approaching us. There's a Citizens Academy going on. So why not educate ourselves about what is happening in our community? Today, Alan Harris, emergency manager for Seminole County, is going to join me today at 10 a.m. Nice little conversation. Join me. Let's learn a thing. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. 7:42, nearly 3 years after Hurricane Ian, dozens of Central Florida condo owners are still out of their homes.
And we've had some unhappy tenants reach out to us wanting to get results. Coming up, why the delays keep piling up and when they're finally expected to return home.
First, though, a father killed in a Florida ferry crash, and now his family wants answers. Coming up, why they're demanding charges be filed and what we're learning about the driver of the other boat.
New this morning, the family of a man killed in a deadly boat crash in Clearwater is now demanding more answers about what happened. Jose Castro was on a ferry Sunday night when investigators say another boat slammed into it and then left the scene. The ferry was carrying 44 people when it was hit. The captain of the second boat, identified as Jeffrey Knight, passed a breathalyzer, but no charges have been filed.
What kind of war is this? What kind of person is this? He's going to be here killing one person today that was my brother, and tomorrow can be one of us.
Records show Knight was involved in 2 previous boating incidents, one in 2019 that left 4 injured, and another in 2012 where a friend died. Both cases were settled or dismissed. The ferry crash remains under investigation.
A 20-year-old motorcyclist is dead after investigators say a Sunrail train hit him while he was stopped on the tracks. Happened yesterday afternoon near Intermodal Way and Central Florida Parkway. He was pronounced dead at the scene. No one on board the train was hurt, but there were several cancellations and delays for the rest of the day. The crash is still under investigation. Almost 3 years after Hurricane Ian caused severe flooding and damage, people who live at one Orlando condo complex say they are still waiting to return home. The first floor units at the dockside at Ventura Complex off Curry Ford Road hit especially hard. And a viewer reached out to us saying after a contractor failed to complete the work, they are still not back, but are still having to pay for things like mortgages and condo fees. News 6's Laverne McGee went to speak with her and other condo owners about the issue.
How does that make you feel? Frustrated, because I did everything I was supposed to, have insurance, make sure, and that's the first time the place been flooded.
More than 40 condos are still being repaired. Property managers say they hope to have all tenants back home by Christmas.
It's a love story that began in high school, and it reached a heartfelt milestone this week. Megan Garcia, who's been battling a serious blood condition, married her fiance Gerald on Monday right in her hospital room at Good Samaritan Medical Center in West Palm Beach. Megan's ongoing treatment has been keeping her hospitalized, but that didn't stop her and Gerald from saying "I do" after 12 years together. She says the hospital played a big part in making the day special.
But for an event like this, and to be able to have the support from them and to be able to see the donations and everything, the time and effort they put into it, you don't normally get to see that anymore.
The couple met at Boynton Beach High School and share 2 children. High school sweethearts.
That's right. What a great love story.
I love Yes.
it. Love's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, whether
Love.
love, loving
sweet.
love.
Love is awesome.
Wait, why is Derek laughing back there?
I'm not being sarcastic.
No, I know.
It's awesome.
You know what I would love? You know what I would love? Some rain in the forecast. That's what I would
That
love.
would be great.
Yes, well, guess what?
So would my yard.
Are we going to get it?
We're gonna get it. Yes. You're gonna get it, everybody. All right, let's talk about the weather that we have in store across Central Florida for this week. We are running near normal for this afternoon. We are back into those mid 80s, everybody. Back into those mid to upper 80s, closing in a near 90 though, just before we head into that weekend. So just a nice day. You want to make sure you got the sprinklers going. You're watering your plants. You're doing what you need to do to keep everything back, nice and green out there. But as we head into the early part of next week, really looking at Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to start seeing the raindrops. They're back. They're back into the forecast. Now, rain chances at this point trending about 40 to 60%. And that's not just going to be a one-day event. That's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, even possibly into Wednesday. Right now at the door, though, no need for the rain gear. You don't need to find it. You don't need to go on the hunt for it. I know it's been quite some time since many of us have needed the umbrella and the raincoats. We're at 59, though, right now in the Villages. We're at 63 in Daytona Beach, 65 in Kissimmee, low 70s from central to southern Brevard County, down to 72 degrees from Melbourne to Mico. But now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today. Another very near average day. Back into those mid-80s into the afternoon. You can see still tons of sunshine, no rain to have to deal with, no raindrops to dodge for at least the next 2-3 days. So looking here at the clouds and rain forecast, the good news is, and the one thing I'm keeping my eyes on, is the sea breeze, because the sea breeze has been moving and doing what it needs to be doing for the last couple of weeks. That's good. We can't get rainy season if our sea breezes haven't started up. So as you can see, throughout the next couple of days, the sea breeze will be pushing inland, producing some cloud cover, but really that is about it. Our air is still very, very dry, so the only moisture that these sea breezes can create is in the way of cloud cover. But that will all change as we watch for the approach of another cold front. This one will start coming through, approaching the area by Sunday, and then it's going to turn stationary this is good news for us. And the reason why is because as long as this front is nearby, it's going to be acting like a focal point, continuing to inject moisture into the forecast for us here in Central Florida. So while this is not going to be a complete rain event for several days, we're going to have the sea breezes forming every afternoon, and then it will finally have moisture to produce the rain. Now, the next question is how much rain could we see? Well, that's where models disagree big time. So, for instance, the GFS long range between, let's say, Tuesday and Sunday, and Wednesday, I should say, picking up between 1 to maybe even 3 inches of rainfall along our coastline, while the European model, picks up about half of an inch to an inch of rain between Sunday and Wednesday. So again, models are in agreement that we are going to see more moisture, just how much of it we will accumulate is still kind of left to yet to be decided. As we get results here, the full 7-day forecast dealing with some more rain. That's really going to start up Saturday and Sunday. But in the meantime, though, get whatever you need to get done while it's dry. Done now. Now let's check on those roadways
Got
with
plenty of time.
Trooper Steve. Please get your what?
You've had plenty of time to get your stuff done.
That
Let
is
it
true.
rain. Let
For
it
those
pour.
procrastinators.
Get the boat ready. The rafts. We need this rain. Please bring it on. Eatonville, Winter Springs, Maitland, good morning to you guys. No issues there. We are seeing a thick westbound delay right now from about 46A to Lake Mary Boulevard. It's only about 1.5 miles, but the problem is you go from about 5 lanes down to 4. You lose that right travel lane and you lose it quickly. So just make sure you're cautious out there. Lake Mary Boulevard to Maitland, 10-minute drive, and we're sitting in the yellow when it comes to there. 429. Pretty clear. Maitland on the west side, no issues there. Even if you cross over there, cross over I-4 and you start approaching Orlando Avenue, that ramp there is moving real nice. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. If you're hungry, you'll want to stay tuned at 4:30. News 6 anchor Matt Austin makes a new stop on the I-4 food tour. Today, he's trying a local favorite, White Wolf Cafe. That starts at 4:30 right here on News 6.
A Mount Dora home that once sparked national headlines is back in the spotlight. Coming up, the powerful new message behind its fresh look. Following some breaking news out of Brevard County now, where a man armed with a knife has been shot and killed by a deputy, we're being told. This happened early this morning at a home on Palm Circle. That's in the Palm Shores area. Deputies say they had responded to a call about a man damaging a house and say when they got there, the man charged at the deputy with the weapon, forcing them to open fire. The man was taken to the hospital where he later died. The deputy involved was not hurt.
More Americans are turning to weight loss drugs to reach their goals, but a new study shows not everyone has the same access. Research published in JAMA reveals that people of color, those in rural communities, and socially disadvantaged groups are far less likely to be prescribed these popular medications. Experts say it's a wake-up call and more needs to be done to make sure everyone has a fair shot at a healthier life.
The famous Starry Night in Mount Dora is shining brighter than ever.
Oh yeah, it's got a fresh new look and a powerful message of inclusion. Take a look. The house was first painted in 2017 to help a child with autism recognize his home. The mural sparked a legal showdown with the city, but the family won that fight. And now, years later, the mural has been restored just in time for Autism Awareness Month.
It represents to me that if you have a gut feeling about your child, go with it. If you have a concern, go for it and take it farther. And the other thing is for authorities, don't mess with the mom bear. Don't do it.
Don't mess with Mama Bear. She's going to protect her cubs. A documentary about the family's journey called Starry Fight is currently in production. Candace.
All right, taking a live look outside. No starry night, but a nice day on tap across Central Florida as we are right now starting off in the 60s, even a few 70s along the coastline. Now throughout the day, back to near normal for this time of the year. 86, we're looking dry, we're looking sunny. It's comfortable, a nice comfortable last day of April. And then as we get results here, the full 7-day forecast, we are going to be bumping up those rain chances, not just for a day or two, for a nice stretch. Daily afternoon showers, even a few thunderstorms starting up this weekend, Steve.
Got to give a shout out to the social media viewers that are sending me messages going, we love the 7 o'clock hour.
Oh, yay, go us.
We do too, believe us. Westbound I-4, a little slow this morning, but nothing too crazy. We're actually doing pretty good. John Young to completely out of Central Florida westbound, only a 30-minute drive.
All right, we like that. Thank you, Steve, and thank you for joining us. We break news on clickorlando.com.
You can also find all of our stories on our News 6 Plus app for your TV.
Have a good one.
Bye.